Top 10 Dark Confessions from Reddit. Story 1. Neighbor reported my dad's driveway, so I reported the garage he wasn't supposed to have. A guy moved into our neighborhood about a year ago, and from day one, he acted like he owned the place. He was always watching what everyone was doing and complaining about something. A few months ago, he reported my dad to the city because he claimed our driveway extension was built illegally. My dad was pretty stressed because he didn't want to deal with all that, but luckily, he still had all the permits from when it was done years ago. The inspector came out, looked at everything for maybe 10 minutes, and basically said everything was fine. That should have been the end of it. But this guy kept acting all smug after that, like he was just waiting to catch someone else. So one night I got curious and looked through the city's permit records online. I searched his address and couldn't find anything for the huge detached garage he built behind his house. Then I noticed from the property map that it looked way too close to the fence too. I took a couple pictures from the sidewalk, filled out a report, and attached the parcel number. That was it. About 3 weeks later, another inspector showed up at his house. Turns out the garage never had a permit, and it didn't meet the setback requirements either. Since it was built pretty recently, he couldn't get it grandfathered in. They gave him the choice of fixing it or tearing part of it down. Last week, contractors came and removed almost half of it. Now every time he walks outside, he has to look at our perfectly legal driveway, while his garage looks like someone took a giant bite out of it. My dad still has no idea I was the one who reported him. Part of me feels like I should feel bad about it. Honestly, though, I don't. SR Sly, I don't even care if this is real, it healed something in me lol. Petty level 10, and I'm totally here for it. AITA, thank you for the awards and cake day wishes. Op should repost to our petty revenge. Story 2. I use sign language in public so that no one speaks to me. People think I'm deaf. I can hear and talk just fine. I'm not deaf. I just hate talking to people. Some local stores have learned thank you. Not really, I learned ASL for a deaf client of mine and we bonded. I'm pretty fluent in sign when I talk a lot. Introvert Pro Max. This is gold so smart. 2. I pretend to be an old lady when I forget to cancel a hotel reservation. I call and I tell them I lost my glasses. It doesn't happen often, but I'm not paying for an entire day because I forgot I have selective dementia. They happily oblige rescheduling my reservation. Story 3. My parents are gone and I'm relieved. I posted before about hating my dad. Well, Saturday, he texted me angry over some Pop-Tarts he couldn't find in the pantry. I found them when I got home, and he went off making some false accusations. It escalated to violence, and so for Father's Day, he was in jail. The sheriff department issued an EPO, and my mother, who almost died last year, was still home with me. She was screaming at me and making false accusations as well. We took them in when they had nowhere to go because of their own poor financial decisions. They have belittled my husband and I and tried to parent our kids. I just didn't want them to be homeless. My brother came and got my mom after he bailed our dad out of jail, and now in one swoop I lost my whole bio fam. TBH, I'm relieved. A weight has been lifted from me. My kids seemed much happier yesterday. We got to sit in peace and watch movies and enjoy being in our house and not have the TV on 500 or screaming and hollering. I'm our place that I'm okay if they never speak to me again. I know what I've done for them. I know I did all I could. I did more than I should have. Your brother may soon find out what you have been dealing with. Please change the locks or consult with a lawyer if you need a notice of eviction. Congrats on your parents leaving. Next step is to figure out where your boundaries are and what level of interaction you want. The subs Raised by Narcissists and Raised by Borderlines can offer support. I wish you and your family a life lived well. Yellow heart. Story 4. My friends are being greedy without knowing it while trying to sell their house, and it's making me irrationally angry. I have these friends, Sarah and Todd. They live in a subdivision in our city and bought just under 3 years ago. They recently looked at a home in a better area on a much larger block and put in an offer which was accepted for $1.3 million. They've had an inspection and reckon they'd need to do $200K worth of renovations. So they need to sell their house at a high price. At first I was happy for them. The area is one of the nicest in our city, even if the house is tired and close to a main road. Thing is, they're basically unwilling to sacrifice anything. They have no mortgage and can't get one because Sarah hasn't worked in 5 years and doesn't plan to until their youngest child, nearly 3, is in school. So whilst they have some money in the bank and a fully paid off property, they still can't get over the line for $1.5 million unless they sell for an exorbitant amount. So they've gotten an agent that says it's possible, and they're trying just that. Their house is fine and tidy, but nothing special, and they're asking for offers around $1.3 million. Average for the area is $990K, with some pretty major outliers in the upper range. Completely unrealistic. To give an example, a house that is a similar footprint on a similar sized block of land just sold last month in that area for $1 million. The house is newer, has ducted air conditioning, a shed, a pool, and solar panels. Sarah and Todd's place has none of those things. Not only is their naivety pissing me off a bit, but they're saying they're really down about the fact that they've had no offers and the deal might fall through on the new place. Like, in this economy. People are struggling, and you're sitting there being sad that you can't have everything you want without some level of compromise. Sad that you couldn't rip someone off. They bought the place for $570K 3 years ago, FFS. You're already set to near double your money. What more can you want? They go on 2 overseas holidays a year on one income because of well-off family and even whinge about that half the time. Oh, the kids are upset they might not move to the new house. Say are both under 5 years old. Why are they involved at all? On that note, Todd's family have even offered to loan them several $100,000 that they wouldn't have to pay back until Sarah starts working again, but they don't want to take that. Am I meant to feel bad for them? This is vented to me, who came off my maternity leave as soon as it ran out for both of my children, has a mortgage, never goes on holidays. And I still consider my position to be very lucky. I just can't feign the devastation that they probably want from me. Focus on yourself. You need to distance yourself from this whole mess, not your circus, not your monkeys. It doesn't affect you in any way except in your opinion of your friends. If you don't like their morals, then begin to distance yourself from that friendship. I get it, you work hard and make do, but things seem to come easy to them, and they are not grateful for their position, but they won't get their asking price. Let them learn from the real-world experience. I have a whiny, spoiled friend. It got much worse as we aged. I just couldn't stand her entitlement. We drifted apart. Story 5. Told my therapist about one thing from my childhood, and she reacted as if it was extremely fucked up. In short, we had a therapy session today where we talked about some of my traumas, and I mentioned that when I was 13, my mom told me to save my virginity so I could sell it once I turned 18. I always knew it was weird, but I kind of brushed it off. I mean, come on, I knew my mom was a bit crazy. When I finished talking, my therapist looked at me and said, "I'm so sorry." No mother should ever say something like that to her daughter. And that made me stop and think, how fucked up is it that this was just a normal childhood story to me. Now I'm sitting here feeling fucking sad because I'm starting to realize that things were probably much worse than I ever let myself believe. Also brought up how my gynecologist told my grandmother that I had slept with my boyfriend, and my grandmother refused to speak to me afterward because I had supposedly shamed her, in front of everyone. The wildest part. That gynecologist literally came to my grandmother's house just to tell her. I still remember how completely heartbroken I was. That second story is worse than the first. Like others have said before, what your gynecologist has done is likely a crime. A big chunk of the point of therapy is to get a measure of what's normal, acceptable, or not, and so slowly help you see why some of your patterns are what they are. As a child, you have no way to know what's healthy and what's fucked up, and so it colors your experience, and you're unpicking with a neutral observerly. Honestly, sounds like it's going well, turning over stones in your psyche and seeing what's underneath so you can know yourself. When my sister was 13, our mom would allow her to go into the city by herself to meet older guys she would talk to online. The advice she gave her was, if you're given any drugs, bring them home and share them with me. I have a 13-year-old daughter now, and I'm horrified at the choices my mom made back then. Story 6. The most dangerous affair starts long before anything physical happens. I'm 28F and married. I used to think cheating started with a kiss, a date, or sleeping with someone else. Now I think it starts much earlier. It starts when a message from one person becomes the highlight of your day. When you check your phone, hoping it's them. When a simple compliment stays in your mind for hours, when you tell yourself it's harmless because nothing physical has happened. That's exactly what happened to me. Nothing inappropriate was ever said. Nothing physical ever happened. But I found myself craving the attention, the excitement, and the feeling of being seen by someone new. The scary part wasn't what I did. The scary part was realizing how much I wanted to keep feeling that way. Eventually, I cut off contact because I knew where it could lead if I didn't. My husband has no idea that any of this happened. I still love him. I still choose him every day, but that experience taught me something uncomfortable. Sometimes the biggest threat to a relationship isn't another person, it's how easy it is to become addicted to a feeling. Emotional cheating doesn't begin with a kiss, it begins when someone else becomes your first choice instead of your partner. Walking away before crossing that line takes a level of honesty a lot of people never reach. Stop getting married in your 20s, people, please. Honestly, the part that stands out is you stopped yourself. A lot of people don't catch it that early. Story 7. I keep doing this when I go to pizza restaurants, and I don't know why. So my absolute favorite food is pizza. Absolutely love it. But if I go to a place to get slices, I deliberately get the final slice of pizza, no matter the type of pizza, and eat it so no one else has it. So for example, if a place has meat lovers, cheese, sausage, and pepperoni visibly available, and they only have one slice of pepperoni left, I'll get the last slice of pepperoni on purpose so no one gets it. I don't know why I started this, I just do this to be petty. It's not the most wild confession on here. But I do low-key feel a little bit bad, not enough to stop though edit, since a lot of people have been commenting this. One even called me stupid. How rude of you, good sir, ma'am. I know they make a fresh batch, but it usually takes 10-20 minutes, obviously depending how packed they are. But that's not the point. The point is to make the people behind me be mildly inconvenienced for a bit. While I do like freshly baked pizza, in my eyes, pizza is pizza, whether it's freshly made or been out for 20 minutes. And let's not act like the pizza has been out for hours. If it's a relatively popular pizza place, then the pizza would be gone within an hour or so. I'm just here to be petty and make someone mildly annoyed, which looks like I did get someone mad in the comments, lol. As someone who worked in gas station with pizza slices like that, you're actually reducing a lot of food waste. Most people refuse to take the last slice. They'll even ask if we're making more BC, they don't want the last slice. Good for you. Don't they just make a new pizza? You're basically eating the oldest piece of pizza for no reason. NGL, if enough people think like you, OP's whole villain arc completely falls apart. Face with tears of joy. Story 8. I stayed still and quiet in a handicapped restroom while a blind man was urinating in my new office. Important information, no. One, I recently started a new job at a tech company and am still unfamiliar with the building. No. 2, there is a blind man who works there. He's completely blind and cannot see at all. No. 3, I met him during my first week and we had coffee in the kitchen. He's a great guy and I feel awful about what happened. No. 4, he sat down. I went into a restroom on the ground floor that I hadn't used before. It's in an area with bike storage that opens onto the street for people who bike to work. The restroom is different from all the others because it's essentially a very large wet room with an open shower area in one corner and a single toilet on the opposite wall without a stall. I sat on the toilet and looked around the room. The square shower head looked like it was pointing upwards or something. I couldn't figure it out and it was bothering me. So after I flushed and washed my hands, I checked it out. As soon as I got over there, the door opened. I must have forgotten to lock it. My blind colleague entered. I froze immediately. I didn't move, make a sound, or do anything. I just stood still while he was peeing in front of me. I was barely breathing. Then he left. I left 10 minutes later. During that time, I realized that this was the handicap washroom, which also serves as the shower room for people who cycle to the office. No. 5, the large square shower head was turned almost completely upside down. I guess it was recently cleaned and not turned back correctly. He probably sensed you and also didn't say anything. Hope you weren't wearing distinctive cologne deodorant. He might be able to identify you by smell lol. Wholly misplaced modifier. I call bullshit on the coin thing Simon. Story 9. I've never been this frustrated with my culture. I come from India. I'm currently an international student in Europe. As such, whenever I need anything to cook traditional food, my go-to store is this small nearby store run by people from India. It was a cool store, and in the beginning, I loved going there. You had a community, and the guy who runs the store was nice. Then suddenly, out of nowhere in a year, a lot of people stopped talking to me. I didn't know exactly what it was. The people working there stopped smiling at me if I passed them. They would give me a wide berth. Even the dude who ran the store stopped talking to me, avoiding touching me when handing me things, attending to me last if I had a question, even though I came before, answering questions like he was doing me a favor. The whole thing was very, very subtle, but at the same time odd. To make it weirder, I had like 2 people who worked in the store who went out of their way to be sweet to me. Like compensating for everything sweet. If the cashier tossed stuff in my direction once ringing it up, the dude would come to neatly put stuff in the bag. It was a bit odd. Well, the day before yesterday, I went to the store to buy some things. There was a lady there who seemed to be talking to the cashier. They were talking about his family back in Rajasthan, his reasons for moving to this city, and most importantly, his caste. Anyways, long story short, they were discussing how important it was that the right people get to emigrate to keep our image clean, whatever it means. The whole conversation was odd, and I just ignored it, brought my stuff and moved on. Then when I was on the bus, I realized a similar situation had happened to me. I had a pleasant conversation with an older person in line at the cashier, and she kept pushing for information like where exactly my family is from, what my parents do, what my full name is, etc. I answered truthfully in the beginning, but then it just became intrusive and I stopped answering. Anyways, looking back now, it was pretty obvious what she was looking for my caste, and when I didn't give it to her, maybe everyone must have reached their own conclusions about me. I am from South India, and I have a very vague name that can sound like it comes from any religion. I'm not sure what they must have thought about me. After that conversation, all the weird behavior started. Maybe I'm wrong, but there are a lot of other random things that supported judgment on the fact that I was buying spice mix for biryani and chicken, just random jabs at how my people eat everything. I love my people, and these people seem to be the only people who have a problem with me. But it's still so frustrating when you come to another place and the worst parts of your culture follow you. I don't even know what to do, just tell them my caste so they stop treating me like shit. It just feels wrong, coming to another continent and bringing your backward thoughts with you in the guise of respect. We have a lot to deal with when it comes to racism and otherness. Why would you add on to it? Why can't you get out of the last century? Why is it so important to hold on to these backward traditions? I love my culture, I love the traditions, I love the festivals, food, dances, community, everything. Nothing in this world can make me ashamed of being who I am. But stuff like this really puts me off. I'm not even sure how to deal with this situation or react to this, cause I'm not from a lower caste. This is the first time something like this has happened to me. Just an odd situation overall. OP are these people from an older generation. I feel like the millennials and younger generations left the caste thing more in the past. Nope, caste is given the same importance as before by millennials as well as gents. It might not be in your face casteism, but it still remains. Caste systems are one of the worst things humans ever created. What if an Einstein or Da Vinci had been born as an untouchable? How much would the world have lost? One reason I refuse to visit India is because of its backwards, repressive, bigoted attitudes toward people in the wrong, caste system that oppresses people for no reason at all. Story 10. We broke up. At 4 a.m., he told me he was done. We were having fun at the club, and something in him snapped. He told me he was unhappy for a while. I just had my birthday a few days ago, and he got me a lovely gift. I asked him why did he get me a gift if he was going to break up with me. He said it's because he loved me. He said my wife wouldn't do this listing things off he didn't like that I did. You're not my wife. We weren't engaged yet. He said I was a plague on his life. He said I believe in a fantasy world where I believe in the good of the world. When it's not true, he inherently believes the world is evil. He got angry and put his hands around my neck, but didn't choke me. It still scared me. I pushed him off of me. We wanted and needed different things. He wants to be isolated with someone, them versus the world ideology, and I thrive in community, sharing my energy and heart and bringing others up around me. I don't like giving up on us, on him. I know we struggled, and maybe I was blinded by the rose-colored glasses. To go from happy and fun and everything is great to nothing and sadness, defeat, confusion. It's harrowing. I haven't slept. He's blocked me on everything. We walked to his place and he put everything I had in a bag and then walked to mine, and I did the same. I naively envisioned a future with him. I had expectations, and I'm being hit hard with reality. The first 21 days are the hardest. Thanks for writing. Yikes, the bullet did the work for you dodging here. Let that creep go far, far away. My condolences to his future wife if he even manages to get that far. I don't see a shred of compatibility between you two. Find someone better. Jesus Christ, you're not safe with him, and he sounds like the kind of person who'd make you miserable. Stay far away from him, Op. I hope you're okay. Top 10 Wild Reddit Stories. Story 1. Tifu, I fell asleep in the bathtub. So I have the flu and a bunch of mini issues that came with that ear infection, nausea, headaches, etc. So for the first time in a very long time, I decided I was gonna soak in a bath. I have like 3 bath bombs in the back of my bathroom cupboard I've had for maybe about 2 years because I usually shower not bathe. and I decided I wanted to use the glittery peach one. To my horror and apparently my husband's, that peach glitter bath bomb is neither peach nor glittery, but the closest red I've seen to blood. I'm soaking and I knock out. I must be a shallow breather. From what I was told, I was faced away from the door, and the way my hair draped down made me look as though I was face down in the water. I'm a very, very, very heavy sleeper. I have like 20 morning alarms to wake up and still tend to get up late, so my husband touching my leg didn't wake me up, nor did his scream. And apparently my skin felt ice cold. My brother-in-law runs and starts freaking out, running back to find his phone, and my husband tries to grab and hold me. I imagine this was very dramatic, and in that process, my head goes under the water for a second. And I pop up because I got water in my nose. I'm confused as to why my husband is crying. My brother-in-law runs back in, thanking God, and husband is trying to find where the blood was coming from. I'm obviously terrified by the audience while I am but naked in this bath, and as if it couldn't get worse, I was asleep so long the bubbles were gone, so I was just exposed. I yelled at them to get out and just stood up and showered. Definitely not a fan of this situation. Gonna stick to showers. Gonna avoid my BIL for the rest of my life. TLDR, took a bath. Bath bomb made water look bloody. Fell asleep, woke up to a grieving husband and BIL. The tub in question. Yup, that's a death tub. On the positive side, it's nice to know that your family love you and ran around like the proverbial decapitated chickens to help the best they could. Story 2. Tifu, by showing my wife to swipe right and see the popular feed. Not a big fuck up, but I feel bad. My wife is new to Reddit. Her profile is maybe 2 years old. I told her how it works and she's enjoyed it so far. My wife is very wholesome and has been filling her feed with things she likes, like I told her to do. She searched for subreddits she's interested in and joins them and enjoys her feed. Simple enough. I've been keeping her up to tabs on current events in everyday conversations. This happened in the world. So-and-so is in the news, that happened at this place, sorta thing. She's always just asked me where I'm getting my information from, and I just tell her Reddit. She's always just sorta responded back with, huh. I must have missed that, or I didn't see that at all in my feed. My first really big clue was the Musk Sieg Heil. And I was honestly quite surprised when she said her usual default response. Second flag was when she said she never noticed the massive influx of subreddits requesting to ban all ex-Twitter posts. Last night, I decided to forgo our usual evening wind down and cuddle while watching unimportant YouTube videos in the background. I decided to put on music and talk about our day and just enjoy each other's company. I showed her something on Reddit that I thought was funny, and she laughed and said, "OMG, where did you see that? Send it to me." And I told her it should be in her feed, just scroll down from the top posts. So she did and said she couldn't find it. I then asked her to show me her feed, and it was all our cats, our dogs with jobs, our corgis, our sewing, our baking, etc., etc. I said, "Ooh, oh, you're in your custom feed, just scroll right." The look on her face went blank, and she asked, what did I mean scroll right? I said swipe right. And you'll get to the popular feed. Swipe right again. And you'll get to the watch section where it's all videos. She just dropped her jaw and told me she never knew about that. I said, oh, that finally makes sense, and showed her how to mute certain subreddits if she didn't want to see them. I went about our evening and thought nothing of it. Except I totally fucked up. She came home from work tonight just totally numb. I asked her what was wrong, and she told me she's just been in an unfiltered popular doom scroll all day. She's only known like highlights of what's going on in the world from what I've told her. Now she knows everything, and I'm afraid I broke her. I feel bad. TLDR, my wife was only staying in her personal feed and never knew about the popular feed and has been doom scrolling all day. Edit. Oh no. I am not responsible or liable for exposing you to unfiltered Reddit. I can at least tell her she's not the only one. Hell, maybe she'll actually see one of my posts for once. Hi, honey. I love your butt. I have accidentally swiped right to the popular feed. I immediately swipe back again. It's not something I want to deal with. TIL people actually use those generic feeds. I totally broke her. I feel like I just robbed her of some sordid joy. Don't tell her about the NSFW threads. Story 3. AITA for refusing to appear in apology video. A week ago, a neighbor 16 unintentionally scratched my car with her bike. She immediately stopped, started crying, and called her mother for assistance. Scratch appeared worse than it actually was, and in store, it was simply polished away for a SAML amount. Since it was an accident and a very minor one, I didn't charge the girl or her mom. When she apologized, I told her it was all right and advised her to be extra cautious next time, especially around cars. A few days later, her mother wrote that her daughter still feels a bit bad and wishes to offer more sincere apology. I wrote that everything is good, and I don't have any problems with them. She said they would only deliver a cake as a small act of peace. I agreed and thought, okay, that would be sweet. When they arrived, girl was holding a cake box in her hands and her mother had a phone. The girl began muttering about taking responsibility and putting things right, but it appeared as though she wanted the earth to engulf her. Then her mom quietly said, "Now, give him the cake and ask if he accepts your apology." I looked at her again and asked if this was being filmed. Her mother said that she wanted to make a video, as it serves as an excellent illustration of how young people can take responsibility for their actions. She said she could hide my face, but she needed to video me accepting apology from her daughter. I took the cake and told the girl that everything was okay between us and that I had already accepted her apology that day. Then I turned to her mom and said I didn't want to be part of the video. She started arguing with me, said that I could have just let her finish properly, but in the end, I just went home. Girl mom is upset with me now and doesn't even say hello when she sees me. For the sake of good neighbor relations, perhaps I could have waited 30 seconds. But I don't like how a simple apology was transformed into a scene. Girl seemed really uncomfortable. I was filmed without my permission, and I might have looked after it was published as someone who demands apologies from kids. AITA. Yay, this shit is nuts. When I read stuff like this, it's no wonder so many people enter adulthood confused about their identity and purpose in life. It's sad. NTA, the mom was trying to earn clout by publicly humiliating her child. She was just upset that you called her out on it. NTA child is NTA the mother, however. Story 4. AITA requiring BIL family to vacate the primary bedroom when my family visits our vacation house. My 36F parents and I own a property in a Tier 1 Asian city that has been in our family for now 3 generations. My parents were considering selling it a while back, but I bought them out. Though I paid lower than market price, my parents were happy with the deal and they still having a place to stay when they go back. Usually the property is rented out, but my husband's younger brother fell on hard times and we offered to let them temporarily stay at the property rent-free so they can save up. They've been there for the past 2 years. Whenever we've gone back to visit, usually once a year for 2 weeks, I've had to specifically requested that they temporarily vacate the primary bedroom. They hemmed and hawed the first time until my husband 38M reminded them that we were doing them a favor. This year we are not going back, but my parents are. I gave them a half-year heads up on the dates my parents were going. All seemed fine. Last week, I got a call from my parents saying they were staying in an hotel. Apparently they arrived, and my BILSIL said they were hosting friends, and the only space available was the home office with a pull-out couch. My parents are in their 70s and did not want to fight them after a long flight, and also did not want to antagonize my relationship with my ILs, so decided to move to a hotel. I was furious. Typing this, I am still furious. I told my husband that he should be the one to handle this because no one would like the way I handle it. My husband basically told his brother that he's done and he needed to move out immediately. My BILSIL texted me and left me voice notes calling me a bunch of names. ILs have called me begging me to reconsider and to give them grace. Frankly, I don't really care what happens to BILSIL anymore. I haven't responded to any messages and am just letting my husband handle it. Keyword responsible. Let's not forget the name calling. The respect has been broken. Time for moochers to move on. NTA, but you need to go there to assess damage or avoid damage. Then change the locks and ensure there are cameras everywhere. Story 5. AITA for refusing to attend my childhood best friend's destination wedding after they uninvited my wife. My best friend from childhood is getting married. He and his fiancée have been together for about 7 years and planned a destination wedding. They wanted a smaller, more intimate wedding and decided to combine the bachelor and bachelorette party into a week-long trip. About a year ago, I was told about the wedding and was asked to attend. I was specifically told that both my wife and I were invited. The only thing we would need to pay for was our airfare. Everything else would be covered. Over the last year, there were multiple conversations confirming that both my wife and I would be attending. Based on that, we requested and received PTO from work, bought plane tickets, and started preparing for the trip. We bought clothes and other things we would need for a week-long destination wedding. About a month and a half before the wedding, my friend told me there was no longer enough space for my wife. Apparently, she had been cut from the guest list and there was only room for me. He also mentioned that numerous other guests were upset. Some people had to pay for their own accommodations elsewhere if they want to attend after previously being told they would be covered, and some guests had their invitations revoked entirely because they were over capacity. I was honestly shocked. I told him that if my wife couldn't attend, then I wouldn't be attending either. I asked him what happened and why this situation occurred. I wanted an honest explanation. His response was basically that they didn't realize they had a capacity issue until invitations were sent out. I asked how that could happen if they already knew the venue capacity beforehand. He refused to answer directly and kept saying that this wasn't about the guests because it's their wedding. I told him that while it is absolutely their wedding and their choice, they had set clear expectations a year in advance and repeatedly confirmed those expectations. Now, after people had spent money, used PTO, and made plans, they were changing things and expecting everyone to be okay with it. He and his fiancée have taken no responsibility for the situation and instead blame the guests for overreacting. He also told me that I was the only one making a big deal about not being able to bring my wife. To be clear, I never demanded that they re-invite her. I simply told him that if my wife wasn't welcome, I wouldn't be attending either. AITA for being angry about this and refusing to go to the wedding. In TA, go somewhere nice with your wife and send him a postcard saying congrats on the wedding. Since you already bought clothes and scheduled time off, consider it a second honeymoon or maybe just a nice vacation. Agreed, go have fun elsewhere nearby, but don't bother attending. You're not the whole. This is the only answer. Story 6. Update AITA for bringing Tupperware to a restaurant. Hey there, first I want to thank you for all the responses in my original post. I really appreciate it. For the update the day after my original post, I reached out to my friend and asked if she has time the next few days. We meet today for a nice, long stroll in the park. The beginning was kind of awkward because we never had a fight before. Normally, it's also not a problem when life is busy and we don't write for a few days or even weeks. But today it somehow feels strange. I'm not a fan of beating around the bush, so I simply asked her so in that burger place. What exactly triggered you? Honestly, it was like poking a water balloon. She apologized for everything and how afraid she was I might be still mad at her, and apologized some more. Then she explained to me what her trigger was. What can I say? We all were kind of wrong. You guys, it's her aunt. She has an aunt who will always bring a few boxes for family gatherings. But instead of waiting until everyone is done and the food is back in the kitchen, which is fine, she sometimes fills the boxes before it goes to the table. Because my friend's grandma knows of this behavior, she started to cook even more, but the aunt just brought more boxes as well. But that's not all. Said aunt will also bring boxes to restaurants, and if they order different meals, so everyone can have a try from all the plates, she's like, no one wants that anymore, right? And packs while people are still eating. My friend is a slow eater, so often her aunt filled her boxes before she could try everything she wanted. I always wanted to use the word flabbergasted in a post. I think this is the right time. I was definitely flabbergasted. How impudent can a person be? I asked why no one is saying anything about it, but they are all just too tired to deal with her outbreaks. It's easier to say nothing. I felt that. So yeah, she knew it was my food and everything, but it also triggered her real bad. I apologized as well for not warning her, but she said it was totally her fault. I said I will make sure the next time, but she was like, no, it's a nice way to work on it. Well, in the end, we had a really nice stroll, talked about different things, and everything is good. I'm really glad that we cleared that out though. Thank you for reading this. Have a great day and a nice week. Love seeing a mature resolution for once, refreshing. Right? Who boxes up food before everyone is done with it? The entire definition of leftovers is that the food is left over from the meal. Wild stuff. Good on him for calling that SHT out whenever I see these stories. I can't believe people just get away with those for years and others just build up resentment. Even though this ended up with a tussle in the driveway, it needed to be done. Story 7. AITA for not wanting to let a neighbor's kid into my house to do arts and crafts. All names are fake. I 21F often babysit my cousins 10F, 7F, 5M with my mom. While they are at our house, I make worksheet packets for them and we do art and crafts. They love it and so do I. A few weeks ago, my neighbor Sandra 30F saw us doing projects in my backyard and asked if her kids 10M, 7F could join. I agreed. Soon after, another neighbor asked if her son 8M could join too. The kids get along well, and it became a routine that whenever my cousins came over, the neighborhood kids did too. However, my mom tells the parents to send their kids over without telling me first. This is frustrating and sometimes leaves me short on supplies, but we usually make it work. This leads to the current issue. 2 weeks ago, the kids were over making things out of air-dry clay. Another neighbor, Melanie 30F, asked my mom if her son Henry 8M could join, explaining that the neighborhood kids don't really play with him. Not wanting to be rude, my mom welcomed him without informing me. Henry immediately caused issues, pushing kids, hogging clay, and screaming when he didn't get his way. After we told him several times to wait because the clay was drying, he ran upstairs into my bedroom, noticed my iPad, and started playing on it. When my mom tried to take it away, Henry threw it on the ground, cracking the screen, and threw a massive tantrum on my bed. Enraged at this point, I packed up the supplies, sent the neighborhood kids home, and sent my cousins inside to watch TV. My mom was angry because she started getting upset texts from the parents. I told her Melanie owed me money for the screen, but my mom told me to just let it go and that she'll repair it. The next day, I went to Melanie's house to ask for the repair money. Instead of apologizing, she got defensive and said she owed me nothing and slammed the door in my face. To avoid more neighborhood drama, I decided to just pay for the repair myself. Yesterday, my cousins were over for an overnight stay. My mom invited the neighborhood kids over for paper mache making, except for Henry. Melanie found out somehow and came over and demanded he be let in with the other kids. My mom was at the store at the time and I told Melanie no, explaining I couldn't Henry. She immediately got defensive and asked me what I meant by that. I just kept repeating no I can't and shut the door. Melanie waited outside until my mom got back from the store, and when she returned, Melanie started screaming at her. My mom brought Henry inside anyway and told me to just deal with it. I put my foot down and told her that if Henry stayed, I was putting all the supplies away. The other kids overheard and started to get upset. Ultimately, my mom took Henry back to Melanie's. Now, Melanie is bashing us on Facebook for excluding her son. Because of this, the other two mothers are no longer letting their kids come over. I feel terrible for taking that away from them, but I simply cannot handle Henry in my house. AITA. Thank you so much for the informative feedback. I honestly didn't expect this much loudly crying face. After reading your comments, I'll definitely be having a sit down with my mom tonight and rethinking this whole craft session situation. I'll provide an update later on, but thank you again. NTA, you were doing something nice for the neighbor kids until Melanie has to come along and ruin it with her kid that knows no boundaries. For your own sake, it's probably best to just keeping this to your own cousins going forward, no matter if the other parents try to come back around acting nice once they realize they will have to entertain their own kids again. Your mother is the biggest each time she invites extra kids over to hand over to you. I'd pack your stuff up and leave the house. Your mother can babysit the neighbor's kids. I'd also charge the other mothers for supplies and babysitting. You're seriously undervaluing yourself here. It honestly never occurred to me that I was being used for free babysitting for the neighborhood. I just thought I was being nice. I'm definitely going to have a talk with my mom tonight. Story 8. Update: my husband wants to get a Japanese tattoo that I am against. I'm not entirely sure if I'm doing this correctly, since I have never done an update post. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong about posting it like this. First of all, I want to express deep gratitude towards people that have been supportive, kind, and gave great advice. Sometimes it's really nice to get a confirmation that you're not being completely insane. And even if you thought that I'm being sensitive, thank you anyway. All opinions were appreciated. I'll answer a few of the FAQs and comments here. My husband is not Japanese. He was born and raised in Central Asia. Central Asia includes countries like Tajikistan, Uzbekistan,